If you've got 5 minutes to spare and need a refresher on the Game of Thrones saga, here's a quick breakdown of everything that happened in Season 6. Get ready to drink and know things like a good little Game of Thrones fan should. And as always, beware of HBO's signature brand of and which is, of course, very NSFW. Season 5 ended on a huge downer even by Game of Thrones standards, but Jon Snow doesn't spend much time deceased before Melisandre proves the Night King isn't the only one who can wake the dead. Oh, and Thoros of Myr, he can do it too. Melisandre proves there's 3 of them now that can wake the dead. Having given his life for the Night's Watch, Jon finally feels free enough to leave the Wall and return to reclaim Winterfell from the Boltons. Unfortunately, with Jon executing those who betrayed him and Sam off studying to become a maester, the ranks of the Night's Watch are becoming perilously thin. Even as Jon reunites with Sansa and begins rallying the houses of the North, he knows he doesn't have the numbers to retake Winterfell, that Ramsay is holding Rickon hostage. Jon and his forces finally challenge Ramsay at the aptly named Battle of the Bastards. Unfortunately, Rickon turns out to be the first of many casualties, and all seems lost until Littlefinger and the armies of the Vale arrive in the nick of time. The most disgusting man in Westeros is finally overthrown and gets a little well-deserved payback when Sansa feeds him to his own hounds. Not enough, if you ask me. Jon is free to claim his late brother's title as king in the north, but Sansa may have a few words to say about that. Sansa also learns from Brienne that Arya is still alive, though her little sister is having a rough go in Bravos. Arya is given another chance to prove herself after her failure in Season 5. However, this time she refuses to kill her next target. Instead, she turns against the Faceless Men and kills the Waif, proving once and for all that Arya Stark is not no one. She is in fact someone. Someone named Arya Stark. But that doesn't stop her from borrowing a face and murdering the wedding-ruining Walder Frey, which was so fun to watch. Life continues to go badly for Cersei in King's Landing as she finds herself losing her last surviving child to the influence of the High Sparrow. And when King Tommen abolishes the right to trial by combat, Cersei faces the very real prospect of being found guilty in a court of law. True to form, Cersei resorts to scorched earth tactics. She and Qyburn eliminate all their enemies in one fell swoop by blowing up the Sept of Baelor and killing the High Sparrow, Queen Marjorie, and hundreds of other nobles. Tommen is so distraught that he commits suicide, thus finally completing the witch's prophecy we saw in Season 5. Though Cersei ascends to the throne of Westeros, she sacrificed nearly everything in the process. And even as Cersei emerges triumphant, Daenerys is consolidating her power in Essos. Things initially look bleak for Dany as she's dragged off to the city of Vaes Dothrak to live among the other Dothraki widows, leaving poor Tyrion to maintain order as the slavers of Slaver's Bay rise up in revolt. Luckily, Dany reminds everyone who the real mother of dragons is when she burns the Khals alive and takes control of the vast Dothraki army. Even more allies are springing up to join Dany's growing army. Both House Tyrell and House Martell, now ruled by Ellaria Sand, pledge their allegiance. Even Yara and Theon throw their lot in with Dany after Yara unsuccessfully tries to claim leadership of the Ironborn instead of her murderous uncle Euron. This massive alliance of East, West, and South proves that a hatred of House Lannister is the great unifier in Westeros. Look at the Lannisters, getting everybody to play nice together. As the countdown to the final war between the Lannisters and the Targaryens begins, only Bran seems focused on the true enemy facing Westeros. Bran's growing powers allow him to view the past and even see the origin of the White Walkers. However, this power leaves him vulnerable to the Night King's touch. The White Walkers attack the Three-Eyed Raven's cave, and Bran and Meera only survive thanks to the valiant sacrifice of Hold the Door Hodor. And if I didn't know this guy was a DJ in real life, I would have been even more sad. Bran and Meera are then rescued by the missing Benjen Stark, who reveals he was turned into a White Walker until being healed by the Children of the Forest. Benjen sends his nephew south to Winterfell, where Bran prepares to reunite his family, carrying not only word of the White Walkers, but the knowledge that Jon is actually the son of Lyanna Stark. A bombshell that's good enough to end Season 6. For more Game of Thrones, check out Season 5 in 5 minutes and CineFix's 3 brilliant moments from the Battle of the Bastards. And as always, be sure to subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.